So I'm going to be starting this new series on my channel of going over all the sports picks that I take and sharing it with you guys. If you guys, have any comments, you can comment below and tell me what you guys think and take it. It's always interesting to me, and I'm going to be taking them either way. So I thought I'd make this series, and along with this series, I'll obviously go over the next day what we took and what happened or what have you. I guess starting today, since this is the first one that we've ever did, right? Just news or sports news from yesterday. I guess the most surprising one is just how bad Bill Belichick's team looked. Offense, defense, all of it was just looked very, very sloppy, and just not something anybody anticipated from one of the best coaches of all time. And I know a lot of people like to poke fun at him that on Twitter yesterday, how Tom Brady carried, but I mean, we've all seen it. If you're at least 20 or up, yeah, you've seen all of the accolades that Bill Belichick had. We know his teams are better than that, but simply overall, his team looked bad. For instance, the defense. TCU was just leaning on them, especially on the second half. It was pretty much over. They were running the ball with 10 minutes left in the third quarter, and it looked like there was like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter because they weren't trying. It just looked like they weren't trying, because in the first half, at least it wasn't that bad. Like it was never to the point where the running back would find this gap and he'd run for 60 yards. It was never bad to the point where they run an inside zone and the linebackers are getting pushed. And don't get me started on the for UNC's offense. Their center was awful. Like, he would get pushed back 5-10 yards every play, every pass play. They benched their quarterback, Gio Lopez, I believe his name was, and I didn't really know his name or who he was or what he was about. A couple of the people that I know said that he was going to be really good this season. Now, to be fair, they didn't really let him throw the ball much, but they benched him and they brought in Max Johnson, and he scored on like the first drive or whatever. But the team just wasn't good at all. Offense, defense, special teams. I believe TCU ran back a punt too. So overall, they need a reevaluation next week. So we'll see what they do next week. And then just another thing off the top of my head from yesterday, going to the U.S. Open. I said this yesterday to some of my friends. Sinner looks like prime Nadal on clay. Like, this dude is insane. And this is coming from a guy that didn't like Sinner like really much because of that drug scandal. I think he should have gotten more time still, even though it was kind of like a dicey thing. But apparently, I'm pretty sure he failed it twice or something like that, and he got a slap on the wrist. And just because he obviously got favoritism in that ruling, because somebody like Michael Yeamer, got like a year suspension for some drug, which he should have, because you can't be taking drugs. And then there was another Australian player. I can't think of exactly what he did at this moment, but he got a really large ban, like a year ban, and he came and told the ATP about it. He told the ATP that he did this thing, and then they still gave him this huge suspension, and they gave Sinner like a month and a half, and that month and a half had no Grand Slams involved in it. So besides that, that's really where I guess my not hatred for Sinner, but just critique of Sinner that I didn't like, because I just thought he should have gotten more time. on that suspension. But I can't. I mean, I can't. Nobody can deny Sinner right now. I think is at the level of Nadal. I just don't think Nadal. I just don't think Sinner has done it as long as Nadal did it on clay. If Sinner wins this year, it's his fourth major in a row, and that should be five majors out of the last 8, I believe. Wimbledon, this U.S. Open if he wins. He lost in the French Open, won the Australian Open, won last year's U.S. Open, lost Wimbledon last year. I can't remember what he did in RG last year. And then he won the AO because last year's AO because Medvedev choked. Medvedev choked the 2-set lead. So yeah, I mean this guy's insane. And we'll see what he does tomorrow. He plays. I can't remember who he plays, but he plays a decent opponent tomorrow, and we'll probably be going over that. But today we got our playbook. We got our progressive playbook, and we have 4 plays on the playbook today. 4 plays. The last one is a little shaky just because I don't have as much knowledge on it, but you'll see what it is. But the first play on the playbook today is Alcaraz and Lehecka. Alcaraz and Lehecka, they play in like 5 minutes. So after this, I'm probably going to go watch it. I'm probably not going to have this out so you guys can see what I take or whatever. But that's the first play here. Alcaraz and Lehecka over 31.5 games. I take this because I think Lehecka is being underrated here. Like, he can't take a set off Carlos here. Carlos hasn't dropped a set this U.S. Open, and Lehecka has dropped. He's dropped 2 sets to 2 different opponents. So he's gone 2 matches. He's gone 2 matches without losing a set, and 2 matches with losing only 1 set. And here, just from the stats so far, this is just this year's stats, not this U.S. Open. But this year, Lehecka has a 10.2% ace rate, and Carlos has an 8.9% ace rate. So that tells you right there that Lehecka's serve quality is pretty good, and his 60% first serve in rate, and Carlos's is 63.5% in rate, first serve in rate. So that's pretty good. It's pretty similar, 3.5 percentage points off. Obviously, the big misnomer here, and the big thing that I guess the books are looking here, and the biggest problem for us is the Lehecka 18.7% break rate and Carlos's 35% break rate. This is against every opponent on hard courts as well this year, so this doesn't bring in the clay courts or the grass courts, but it's almost doubled Lehecka's break rate. But I don't have the exact stats printed on here in terms of all of it, but I do know Lehecka's hold rate is better than Carlos's rate. So we have 3 sets at it, 3 sets of winning 1 set, and I think this overcashes pretty easily as long as Lehecka wins 1 set. And it's also possible that Lehecka takes it to like a tie break, and then maybe he loses 6-4, 6-4. That would cash the over. I just don't see Lehecka getting blown out like that in this round of 16 match. He's came a long way, and I think he's gonna compete here. And I guess I'll show you. I'll show you this just so you know it hasn't started yet. It's only 12:42. It starts at like 12:45 or something. So 3 more plays here. That one is Carlos Alcaraz and Jiri Lehecka over 31.5 games again. Hopefully I'll put it maybe like somewhere right here or something so you guys can see it. But the next play the next 2 plays we're gonna be taking it to the diamond in Major League Baseball. So we got the Sox at the Twins. Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. We're going to be going over 9 runs today. That's at minus 125. Uh, Pretty bad bullpens this year. The Twins are at a 4.43 bullpen ERA, and the Sox are actually better, surprisingly, at 4.15. I think that's more of the middle of the pack, and the Twins are pretty much in the bottom tier of all MLB teams in terms of bullpen. So that's going to work in our favor in the back end of the game for sure. Uh, Talking about the 2 starting pitchers, Davis Martin, the pitcher for the White Sox, is probably one of the worst pitchers in the MLB today that starts regularly. Him and the guy we're going to be fading next as well, the next play. But Davis Martin's really bad. Expected batting average is at 288. They're almost expecting batters to bat 300 against this guy on any given day. 495 expected slug rate. That's almost a 500 slug rate. 17.5 strikeout rate. That's really bad. Anything under 20 is not good in terms of strikeout rate. 7.8 walk rate. That's okay. It's not like abysmal. Like 10, pretty bad is like 10 and up. That wouldn't be any good. 7.8 is okay, but and another really bad thing is his barrel rate, 10% barrel rate. That's really bad. You honestly want to see like a 4% barrel rate. 10% barrel rate is pretty bad. I believe barrel is 95 miles an hour and up. So that's a hard hit ball. So that's a barrel. Obviously that's 95 mile an hour. Barrel rate is really bad. Any ball that's hit 95 miles an hour, even if it's on the ground, could easily constitute an error or an infield hit or whatever. It's just not a good thing to give up. We got Sean Woods Richardson as well. This is the Minnesota Twins pitcher. He has a expected batting average of 249, so that's a little bit better than Martin's, and that's not too bad overall. Actually, it's 241. Did I say 249? I think I did. 241. That's not too bad. If it's under 250, that you can live with that as a starting pitcher. But here it comes. The slug rate is not good. 443. Do you want to see it at around 400? The K rate 19.3. Like I said, you want to see it over 20. That's pretty close, but it's still average. I'd say 20. I'd say 20 and up is average, or around 20, 21 is average. So he's below average again with strikeouts. And strikeouts matter a lot. You don't want to see people put it in play. It just doesn't ever help. We've seen teams in the past where you say put it in play and it helps. And it just helps overall to put it in play instead of just going down on strikes at the plate. But the bad thing is the 10.2 base on ball rate compared to Martin's, like I said earlier, was 7.8, which I said wasn't that bad. 10.2 is pretty bad. So we will be expecting some walks out of Sean Woods Richardson here. And then the barrel rate is 11.3, which is even worse than Davis Martin's. And like I said, Davis Martin's one of the worst pitchers in the MLB. I don't really go by ERA, so I don't have it written down in my playbook. But I'm pretty sure Davis Martin's ERA is probably like close to 5 or something. I don't go off ERA. Is a really outdated stat, to be honest. But Sean Woods Richardson, like I said, has a worse barrel rate than Davis Martin that has a ERA of like 4 or 5. To put that in perspective, so and his Sean Woods Richardson's ground ball rate to his fly ball rate is a negative percentage. I believe I don't have the exact number written down again, but I believe it's like 30% ground ball rate and 35% fly ball rate. That's never good. It's never good that your fly ball rate is more likely than your ground ball rate. To put it in perspective, like tonight in the Yankees game, Framber Valdez's ground ball rate is 60%, and his fly ball rate is like 10%. And the same thing with Max Fried. His ground ball rate is like 55%, and his fly ball rate is like 10%. So that's really, really, really good. Obviously, that's probably top 5% in MLB. I believe Framber has the best ground ball rate to fly ball rate. So yeah, 60% to 10% is amazing. You ideally want to see it like you wouldn't want to see your fly ball rate in the 30%. It's probably average, from my knowledge, is probably like 25%. Then your ground ball rate is, I'd say what is good is like 40%, but average is probably like 35%, something like that. So that's not good for Sean Woods Richardson. And then to cap it off, the Twin Stadium is the fifth friendliest ballpark to hitters, and it's blowing 8 miles an hour out. That's at the beginning of the game. Then it starts to fall off to like 5%, not 5%, 5 miles an hour, and it is blowing out. So yeah, I think this is a good spot for over 9 here in this Twins and White Sox game. All right, and then the third one is the A's at the Cardinals. Going to be going another total 8.5. Over 8.5 that's at -110, so good odds. The A's have the fourth worst bullpen in the Major League Baseball at 4.79. That is the fourth worst, like I said. But the Cardinals are at 3.62 ERA for their bullpen. That's the fifth best in the in the major leagues. So you're dealing with that. I don't think it's going to matter because of how abysmal the starting pitching are. Luis Severino, first off, his expected batting average is 280. That's not good. Again, like I said, and that's close to Davis Martin's, like we were talking about in the last bet. 17.2% K rate. Again, not good. You'd want to see it over 20. 5.9 barrel rate. Wait, barrel rate? Yeah, 5.9% barrel rate. Okay. Yeah, that's not that bad. That's pretty average, like I said. Like the last game that we were talking about, they were both over 10. 6% barrel rate is not that bad. But I wrote that down because his solid rate is 8%. That's I think that's 80 miles an hour and up. So it's just a solid hit ball. Not exactly a barrel, but it's hit pretty solidly. So that and the 8% is pretty high. And then with both pitchers today, we're working with a really bad whiff rate. I didn't write that down for the last game, but 17.6 whiff rate. So we will be seeing a lot of contact overall in this game today. Not a lot of strikeouts, not a lot of swing and miss at all. And we all know not a lot of swing and miss constitutes runs for sure. And then the Cardinals pitcher, the home pitcher, is Miles Mikolas. This guy is probably my worst. I hate this guy. Like I've rarely backed the Cardinals when he pitches. He's just so bad, so bad. He's made me mad for so many years, honestly. But he has a 285 expected batting average. That's close to Severino's 280. He has a 530 expected slug rate. 530. Like I said earlier, I would want it to be closer to 4. And like I said earlier, Davis Martin, not to beat a dead horse and not to sound repetitive, but like I said, he's one of the worst pitchers in the MLB, and Miles Mikolas's expected slug rate is 35 percentage points higher than Davis Martin's. That's really, really, really fucking bad. So his K rate is 15.3%. Okay, that's a full 2 percentage points lower than Severino's. That's bad. And a 12% barrel rate. A 12% barrel rate. That's higher than John Woods Richardson. That's 2 percentage points higher than Davis Martin's. This guy is abysmal. And honestly, I can't remember what the odds on the sides are, but I'd easily take the A's here. But I don't want to back a bad pitcher overall. I never really like if it's bad pitcher against bad pitcher, but one pitcher is worse. I still won't take it because I don't like backing these bad pitchers. I'd rather take like a good pitcher against a bad pitcher and lay like a 0.5 for the first 5. I'd rather do that. But Miles Michaelis is just horrendous. The only thing is, if you were to take the full game with the A's, you'd have to fade the Cardinals bullpen, which I wouldn't recommend. If he somehow has a good game and it's like even or it's like a tie game going into the 7th inning, yeah, you're probably going to lose. So I wouldn't do that. I'd just take the over here. Both pitchers are not good. Both pitchers whiff rate, or I didn't even say his whiff rate. His whiff rate is 17.1, so 0.5 percent lower than Severino's. Both pitchers aren't good. They're giving us 8.5 here. Busch Stadium is like around the middle of the pack in terms of hitter friendly part, and there's basically no win today. So it's solely dependent on these pitchers just being bad. And I think I didn't write this down, but the A's are obviously a better hitting team. I think they're 11th in WRC plus, so weighted runs created. That's pretty good, almost top 10 in the major leagues. And then the Cardinals are 18, but obviously they'll get a boost just because of how bad the pitchers are today. So those are really the main plays today. Again, to repeat it, if I don't have it written down, maybe somewhere over here. Hopefully I do. It's a lot of editing and kind of gets overwhelming sometimes, but hopefully it's somewhere here. To recap, it's Alcaraz and Lehecka over 31.5 games. It's the White Sox at the Twins over 9 runs. The A's at the Cardinals over 8.5 runs. Okay, so and those are the 3. And then this is the play that I'm taking tonight. I don't have like this really in-depth thing like I did in the first 3 games, especially in baseball. I get really picky about what teams I take in baseball. But the 4th one is going to be the UFC and the Dana White Contender Series tonight. For my MMA guys, if you guys tune into that every week, it's usually fun. The first week was really shitty because the people didn't want to, that they were just grappling, and I guess they didn't want a shot in the UFC. But the last 2 times they've signed every guy, and there's been like a finish every night, so it's been really fun at the very least. But for the main event tonight, it's Tommy McMillan against David McGowan. Tommy McMillan is from the United States. I believe he's from like Phoenix or something. And David McGowan's from Russia. I don't think he's Dagestani though. So I think we can have this one. Tommy McMillan, obviously, if you guys go look him up, he has really good grappling and striking. I looked at both of the guys' tapes. Like I said, I don't have this in-depth thing. I will for the Imavov card this week, though. That should be really fun again. But what we have basically is I have Tommy McMillan money line at plus 150. I think that's insane. He's Tommy McMillan 7-0. He's 6 foot and he has a 74 inch reach. David McGowan has a 70 inch reach. That's 4 inches less than Tommy's. He's 5'9". That's 3 inches shorter than Tommy. And the only thing that he has is he's 21 and Tommy's 27. But obviously they're both still young. 21 is really young, obviously, in MMA. So, I mean, it'll be fun, but just watching the two guys fight, and I'll just take the bigger man with the larger reach. That's obviously always a main factor in fights, and usually the guy with the taller frame and the longer reach is favorited most of the time, not all the time, of course. If there's an obvious mismatch in skill level, then it won't be. But I don't think there is here. It's also hard to judge because obviously they don't fight in the same fight leagues. They don't do anything, and I'm not gonna sit here and say Tommy's fought these amazing fighters. They both fought fucking trash cans, but I think Tommy looked better. He's mixed of strikeouts and submissions. The other guy is mostly a strikeout guy. I think Tommy might have the advantage in the grappling. We'll see. But yeah, that's just the play that I like in tonight's Dana White Contender Series. But the first three games are obviously the main cards that I like and the most confident, just because I've seen these stats for a long time and they usually work. So there you have it, guys. 3 plays. Let me know what you guys are taking today. I know that I will have this out later, and but I know I'll have it out later, and you won't see the first match. But hopefully, I should have it out before the MLB games and the MMA start. So yeah, just tell me what you guys think. I'll have all my socials linked in the description below. If you don't know, I have another channel where I do political content. So I'm going to start moving my sports content to this channel. I don't want to integrate the two, really. So I just decided to create another one. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. All my socials are down below, and I appreciate you guys.